would you say the attitude that retailers in the rest of the United States have about Dalton retailers?
Well, that's funny. I went to the Shaw Show in Orlando recently, and I sat down at dinner one night with some gentlemen from Utah, and they were talking about how competitive it was in their market, and I told them where I was, and they were like, well, I bet it's really competitive there, and I was like, yeah, it is. And he made the comment about, well, y'all saw a whole bunch of low-end seconds and things like that, and I was like, Dalton's really changed. The manufacturers have changed the way they deal off goods. I mean, somebody out in Utah has just as good a chance at off goods that somebody in Dalton does, and because we ship so much outside of our area, off goods are, for us in particular, are not that big of a part of our business. I mean, it's not cost effective to ship to California on a product that somebody may not like because it has a streak or something in it. So our business is very much first quality, and it's trending that way. It has been for the last 3 years, trending toward first quality.
How about the other stores up and down the street? Are there some that concentrate on?
There are some that concentrate on off goods, and that's their forte, and that's what their customer base wants. Most of those guys are not going to retailers, though. They're going to wholesalers. They're taking their off goods and they're going to the little stores out in Utah, out in New Jersey or Ohio, wherever that may be. They're not necessarily going toward the end user.
And they sell those to basically what, cash and carry operations?
Yeah, I call them like D&C dealers, like smaller dealers, if you classify them.
Okay. And there still are a lot of players up and down the street here that deal in seconds?
I wouldn't say a lot. There's probably a handful that I can think of off the top of my head that's their primary business model, is off goods.
And they sell those in what, packages? You buy something, you got to get some things that maybe you don't want as much.
Yeah, for the most part, like I said, I don't buy the off goods as much, so I can't speak specifically to them. But from what I understand, it's usually like in lots. You buy this lot, you have to take these.
Yeah. So you get rolls. You get a lot of beige and some weird colors to boot, I suppose.
Yes.
Talk about carpet, the product. It's been losing share for several years. Mm-hmm. It's probably going to continue to lose share. It seems like, for the most part, it's lost the first floor of many homes in the United States. It's now in the bedrooms. Do you see that changing?
I think flooring, just like anything else, is trendy. Way back when hardwood was not as popular, most of it was not pre-finished, and it was all done at home, so it had its negatives. I think with the pre-finished floors today and how they do the hardwoods, they're going to perform a lot better than they did in the past, and they're going to continue to take a majority of the home surface. But people get tired of things like carpet is very soft and it's very warm. And, if you ever wake up and you've gotten on your bathroom floor and it's cold, or you've gotten in your living room and you want to lay down on the floor and it's not soft. Yeah. So I think there's still a place for carpet. And I think with today's technology, with Shaw's Tough Guard, with the Stainmaster's Pet Protect, carpet is meeting what their consumers want. And a lot of people will have pets, and it's a major factor when they're making a purchase. So as long as carpet continues to evolve like it is currently, I think there's still a strong place in the market for carpet. And you can cover so much more of your floor with carpet. Yeah. And for the elderly, I mean, a lot of them have problems walking without falling, things like that. I'd much rather my grandmother or grandfather fall on carpet with a pad underneath it than I would a hard surface. It's a lot better for that. Mm-hmm. And then the strides they've made in the cleanliness of the air and the Bo used Magic Fresh. It takes the odor out of the air. Mm-hmm. And they're working on making carpet better, and I think that's important. Mm-hmm. And I think as long as they continue to do that and improve it, it'll continue to hold about 50% of the home.
I notice you've got some higher-end pattern goods.
Yes, sir.
I've often thought that most people don't, or maybe aren't aware that there even are such things.
Oh, yes.
Is that, do you, I mean, and this is it's in a prominent place in your showroom.
Mm-hmm.
Are people drawn towards that, or are they a little bit tentative about buying pattern goods?
Usually you have two types of customers. You have one, the customer that's what they want. They know about the product, they've done their research, and they come in and ask them for that. Then you have the second type of customer as they're walking through your showroom or they're walking through your warehouse and they see it out there on the showroom floor. They're like, oh, wow. And they get the idea of they could do that in part of their home. Or patterned goods to me takes someone with a good eye, somebody that knows how they want to decorate and knows what they want. And there's a reason that beige is 90% of all carpet sales, because it's easy. But when you talk about patterns and you talk about design, it takes a little bit more forethought. And the consumers that see it, that hadn't heard about it or known about it before, the ones that like to do design and like to decorate, they love it. And we're lucky enough that we stock some patterned goods, so it allows us to offer a discount for patterned goods. I mean, most people, they buy patterned goods, it's extremely expensive. And it's not cheap, but it's still a discount.
A good buy for them.
Yeah, we can still offer that savings to them because of our warehousing and our ability to buy products.
That would seem to me, just off the top of my head, separate you from many people up and down the street.
A lot of people up and down the street do not stock patterned products.
Yes, and just the idea that a designer, if they come in, you know, I guess one of the things it seems to me with consumers is they don't know what goes with what.
Exactly.
What could I buy to go with my couch? If somebody has that expertise, you're the guy. Do you promote that part of the business?
We do. We have a few designers that we try to work with, and we have a few locally that'll come in. They'll bring their customer with them. They'll bring their fabrics. They'll bring their color swatches, and they'll look at patterned goods for a couple of hours until they find what they're looking for. So,
very good. That's an interesting part of the business.
It is.
What's the most challenging part about running a retail business today?
In today's marketplace, it would definitely be dealing with the people that don't have the overhead, that just have the little, they work out of their home or they work out of a small internet website with no warehousing. They can work on very, very, very slim margins. And I think the flooring industry is learning how to deal with that that store, but I think we're a long way from getting it perfect. The manufacturers are, but I think they're making strides, and it's helping to kind of equal out. But there are still some people out there that make it very difficult. They don't offer all the services that we offer, but they offer extremely low price. And it's hard to offer that extremely low price and offer the service.
Yeah.
And we want to not only give you a good discount and give you savings, but we also want you to give you the information behind it, the expertise. Most of my salespeople have been here 10 plus years. Most of them have 15 years of experience in flooring. So they know what they're talking about. They know what you need for your home. They know that you need, if you have a concrete floor, you need an engineered floor. You don't need a solid floor. We try to combat that by giving our customer information and making sure that they have the right product and not just giving them an extremely cheap price. And we back up if there's a problem with the flooring. Shipping creates a lot of problems. The environment, the humidity in your home, the humidity in your area creates problems with hard surface. And we try to educate, and we take care of our customer if there is an issue. While some, let's take iFloors for example, they were a huge internet company overnight, and then one day they're just gone. Who takes care of that consumer that bought their floor? Yeah. I mean, like with Lumber Liquidators today. I mean, I know they have a large footprint, but they have their formaldehyde issue. You know, and when lumber liquidators, if something were to happen to them, who takes care of all those customers?
Yeah. Has that formaldehyde issue affected you, or at least when a consumer walks in, are they more skeptical of certain products now?
For our company, right now, it has not been an issue, but I can tell you all the manufacturers have been extremely proactive, and they've all came to us with letters and their documentation of having their products tested. A few years ago, we took a stance of we want to promote American-made products. So we weren't heavily invested in Chinese imports or imports from any other country, for that matter of fact. So when that report came out, it was actually good for me and good for our company in stating, well, we're 95% plus American-made products. So in the few products we do import from China, we have documentation on them and all that. So it has not been a big factor for us. I'm sure for other people, especially that their basic product line is Chinese imports or imports from other countries, it has affected their business.
And of course, just laminate in general, I suspect, been a lot of questions asked, because who knows if it's from China, or who even knows what laminate is, for that matter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot more questions being asked than really irrational, but that's just the way it is.
I definitely think it will hurt the laminate business, is because people will be more concerned about it. I think LVT has already taken a large chunk of laminate business, and I think it will continue to do so. There's still a place in the market for laminate. You know, it just sheds the light that the products you buy, you want to make sure that they are what they say they are.